Hello dear friends, welcome to Gate Academy Global. So before starting today's session, I would like to have the input as well as concurrence regarding the quality of video as well as audio. If it is perfect, just write perfect over the live chat and then we are ready to go ahead. Anyways, the agenda behind today's video has been clearly written over the digital board. We are going to discuss about a special kind of the integration, that is gamma integration. Once we are done with the gamma integration and the time permits, definitely we would go into the another kind of the integration which is almost relevant to the gamma integration, beta integration. Anyways, keeping aside each and everything, let me focus over the first important kind of the spatial integration, and that has been the gamma integration. Once you'll see the structure of the gamma integration, you'll get to know it used to deal with the improper form of the definite integral. May you know when we used to have the improper form of the definite integral? Definite, that means you have the limits, upper as well as lower limit. Improper, that means either of the upper, either the lower limit is infinity, or in between you have got a discontinuity. So what I am saying, as far as the gamma integration is being concerned, no. So its basic structure used to be, if you will start with its basic structure, the basic structure used to be, here you would be having x has been raised to the n minus of 1, e to the power of minus x dx, whereas the limit starts from 0 and goes till infinity. So as far as the structure of the gamma integration is being concerned, it used to be the integration from 0 to infinity. X has been raised to the power of n minus 1, e has been raised to the power of minus x dx, and that helps to be equals to of gamma of n. When you would do the integration with the help of gamma integration, no, few of the important properties of the gamma integration would be useful in most of the cases. So let me write few of the important properties which would be followed by the gamma integration. So the properties which would be followed by the gamma integration. Properties. The first and foremost property, most of the time I would be using this property again and again, and that had been the gamma of n plus 1 has been equals to of n gamma n, or is also been referred as n factorial. That has been the first important property which we would be using again and again when we would be dealing with the different kinds of the numerical problems which are based on the concept of the gamma integration. Yes, till this point each and everything is clear. So Pranali is saying, sir, yesterday's homework question will not be discussed. I do not know exactly whether you have given the response over the comment box or not, because I have categorically said in the last class that you must discuss the answer of the concern problem over the comment box. Anyways, I did not see any of the answer over the comment box. That is why I am not discussing it over here. Anyways, you put those comments over the comment box and we can take that discussion tomorrow also. There is no problem as such. Agreed? The next important property which would get followed by it, it's gonna be gamma of half is equals to of root over of pi. So these two important properties as well as the basic structure of the gamma integration is more than enough to crack almost all sort of the problems which are based on the concept of the gamma integration. So you yourself would be able to understand one important thing. The gamma integration deals with the improper form of the definite integral. Improper form of definite integral. Why I am saying it's the improper form of the definite integral? Because its upper limit goes to infinity. So this is the reason. Because of that, it becomes improper form. So till this point, probably each and individual things must be clear to all of us. In the same sequence, remove this integration for a time being. Just focus over this function, x to the power of n minus 1, e to the power of minus x. For the time being, what I have done, the first function which we have taken, I have chosen the value of n somewhere, let's take 2. So the function would be e to the power of minus x into of x. May you know how this function would look like? You can draw over the Desmos how the function would look like. At x is equals to 0, you yourself would be able to understand this becomes 0, the 0 gets multiplied with the e to the power of minus x would become 0. And as the value of x goes infinity, e to the power of minus infinity would become 0. And as the 0 is going to get multiplied with the x, the result would again be 0. So one thing had been quite sure, if you have taken the value of n as 2, what had happened? You had the function e to the power of minus x dot of x, which has been a purely bounded function. What does that mean of it? That means at any moment of value of x, the worth of e to the power of minus x into x is not going to reach towards infinity. That means it must be bounding a finite area, and as it has been bounding a finite area, so once you'll take its integration from 0 to infinity, no, the area would be finite in nature. The area would be finite in nature. Okay, so should I be explaining once again? So what I am saying over here, as far as e to the power of minus x into x is being concerned, and anyways my integration is being concerned from 0 to infinity, so I would not be focusing the structure of this particular function towards the negative value of x. I would be focusing only and only in the positive span of x, as the integration has been taken place from 0 to infinity. So what had happened over here, if you'll feed x is equals to 0, by default it becomes 0 into e to the power of minus x, that has been 0, and once you'll feed x is equals to infinity, here also it would be 0. And one thing I had been quite sure, towards the positive value of x, this would always be positive, this would always be positive, the result would always be positive only. The result would always be positive only. That means all the way it would start from 0, all the way it would start from 0, it would reach to its maximum value. May I know at which particular value of x it would reach to its maximum value? That you can easily find with the help of concept of maxima and minima, and again it would go to 0. Here the worth had been 0, 0. This has been the function e to the power of minus x into x, e to the power of minus x into x. And here, as the value of x goes around infinity, the value of the worth of the function again becomes 0, So now as you are interested finding the integration, what does that mean by the integration? Integration of the given function is very same as the area under the given function f of x, x is equals to 0, and similarly x is equals to infinity, taking the reference of x-axis. So you yourself would be able to understand one thing, sir. Yes, sir, the area which is getting conceded now, that has been finite in nature. So obviously this region is going to get enclosed. Sir, yesterday's 3 problem, please discuss. We'll try to discuss that also. I was thinking most of you are able to solve those problem out. That is why I did not take the discussion over the previous problems which were discussing in the last video. No issue. We will try to discuss those problems tomorrow, because currently I do not have those questions. Probably I am having those questions in my laptop. So I have to refer that questions once again. Agree? So till this point I don't find any problem you guys would be having. Yeah, even the Nishant is saying the maxima is being found at x is equals to 1, somewhere here, and the worth of the function has been 0.368. Okay, that's fine. So, but one thing is quite sure, as far as the integration of this function is being concerned, the conceded area had been finite, and as the conceded area had been finite, you are going to get its finite area under the curve, and that finite area under the curve can be well articulated by the gamma of n. This symbol is called gamma. In few of the books it's also been written as gamma of n. So till this point I don't find you guys would have any sort of doubt now. Even what you do, if you take another kind of function, rather taking the integration from 0 to infinity for x into e to the power of minus x, if I take the integration of x square e to the power of minus x, still what would happen? It would become x square. It would become x square, it would become x to the power of 3, it would become x to the power of half, it would become x to the power of 3 by 2. Again and again the same thing is happening. Could you understand what I am saying? What is happening over here? If you feed x is equals to 0, this becomes 0, it starts from 0. If you go towards x is equals to infinity, this becomes 0, it lands up to 0. So put together you are going to concede the same area under the curve, and which should be finite in nature. Agree? So let me take the few number of numericals, and with the help of few number of numericals, we are going to learn the basic concept of the gamma integration. And keep in mind, the gamma integration has been a very, very important integration if you really want to understand the, the corresponding area which has been enclosed by normal distribution or Bell distribution, which we discuss within a part of random variable and random process. Sir, limit will always be From 0 to infinity, yes. Nishant, that is for sure. The limit would always be from 0 to infinity, but is still, for the sake of the variation in the problem, what we are going to do, sometime I would start from minus infinity to 0, and sometime I would start from 0 to minus infinity, depending on the different categories of the problem. But in standard, the limit has been defined from 0 to infinity. If you want, we can take its derivation also, which is not at all important in terms of gate, neither in terms of semester, neither in terms of ESE electrical. Okay. In the same sequence, what we are going to do over here, let me take few number of numericals, and with the help of those numericals, we are going to learn its complete concept. So the first numerical comes in this structure. Let me see the numerical form had been, the integration has to be taken place from 0 to infinity. Obviously had the same limit. We had the function like x square e has been raised to the minus of x dx. My dear friends, if you will try to calculate this integral using the analytic function, like if you will keep something as t and once you will try to solve this problem out, no, it would take a hell amount of time. But with the help of gamma integration, it is going to get sorted out within a fractional amount of time. May I know what would be the answer over here? So what would be your approach first? First try to understand what would be your approach. First, match the form of the given integral to the gamma form of the integral. First, the limit should match. Obviously, sir, the limit towards the lower side had been 0. Here also we had 0. Towards upper side we had infinity. Here also we had infinity towards upper side. That is for sure. Even if you will match the structure of the function, no, e to the power of minus x had been as it is, and even x has been raised to a certain power. Here it was n minus 1, and here it has been x square. So more or less almost all things are in line of my requirement. So what I am going to do over here, I am just going to compare the power of x both of the side. So the result which do come in my hand, it's simply gonna be n minus of 1 is equals to of 2. Yes. So the result what is supposed to get in our hand has been n is equals to 3. So specifically, if this would have been problem, rather having n as gamma, I would have the gamma of 3 itself. Gamma of 3 itself. Could you understand what I am saying? So this could be the form of your problem. The answer would be gamma of 3. The answer would be gamma of 3. And may I know what would be the worth of the gamma of 3? The important properties which was revealed earlier, no, you can take the help of this at any moment of time. See how the gamma of 3 could have been written. Gamma of 3 could have been written as gamma of 2 plus 1. Deliberately I wrote in this form, because gamma of n plus of 1, gamma of n plus of 1 is being written as n gamma. What does that mean of it? It is simply going to be 2 factorial had the result as 2, So I don't find any of the student would have any sort of doubt now. Yes. So obviously gamma of 3 would stand for 2 factorial, the result would be 2. In the same sequence, let me go ahead and let's take the problem had been, let's take, this has been the next question. Integration from 0 to infinity e to the power of minus x dx. Anyways, you can get its answer just by taking its analytic form. The integration of e to the power of minus x would be minus times e to the power of minus x. You can feed its upper limit as well as lower limit. Deliberately I have taken this problem just to check whether my gamma integration is working fine or not. So I am going to use the two different methodologies to get its answer. May I know what are they? The first method is just by keeping minus of x st. Once you'll keep minus x st, what would happen? Minus of dx would become minus of dx would become dt. So dx can be fed as minus of dt. Probably you must be acquainted with those situations, no? So I am keeping aside each and everything because those part has been dealt into the great detail. So simply is gonna be the integration of e to the power of minus x would be e to the power of minus x with the minus sign, and here goes its limit. So the minus sign would remain as it is, and here goes e to the power of minus infinity, and here it has been raised to e to the power of what? 0. E to the power of minus infinity. May I know what used to be the worth of e to the power of minus infinity? Tell me what used to be the worth of e to the power of minus infinity. I would like to ask from each one of you. Tell me what used to be the worth of e to the power of minus infinity. E to the power of minus infinity. I want this input from each one of you because I know many of the students used to have Lot of doubt, lot of doubt over here. Tell me. Let me design another problem. Tell me. Tell me. 0. Nishant have said 0. Anyone else? Anyone else? E to the power of minus infinity. 0. Pranali also says 0. Manju Sadhukan is also saying 0. Anyone else? So if it is 0, can you tell me one thing? If rather having e to the power of minus infinity, let's take you had 0.2 to the power of minus infinity. May I know what would be the value of 0.2 to the power of minus infinity? Because this sort of problem can be framed at any moment of point. At any moment of point. I want to have the input for this sort of problem also. May I know what would be the worth over here? 0.2 has been raised to the power of minus infinity. My dear friends, why I am going into the so detailed form? Because I know these are the different points where many of the students used to have lot of amount of doubt. I wanted to have the input for this particular problem. 0.2 has been raised to the power of minus infinity. Tell me. Same. Nishant is saying same. Anyone else? So 2 answers we have already received from the Pranali as well as Manju. I would like to ask this question once again. So the 3 answers were 0. Obviously they were referring e to the power of minus infinity. Now you have to take the reference of 0.2 to the power of minus infinity. May I know what would be the worth of it? Anyone else apart from Pranali as well as Nishant? The answer is gonna be infinity. See why? This minus sign could have been brought in. This could have been become 0.2, which would be raised to the power of minus 1. And now it had been taken as infinity. What it becomes? 1 upon of 0.2 would become 5. 5 has been raised to the infinity, and that would become infinity. But in case of e to the power of minus infinity, what was the case? E to the power of minus infinity, if minus has been brought inside, it would become 1 divided by of e, which has been raised to the infinity. What used to be the worth of e? The worth of e used to be 1 divided by of 2.718, and now it has been raised to infinity. Could you understand what does that mean by the 1 upon 2.78? My dear friends, 1 divided by 2.718 would have the result somewhere in between 0 to 1, neither 0 nor 1. And if the power has been raised to infinity, what does that mean of it? Let's take 1.2718 had been somewhere 0.3. If you will take 0.3 to the power of infinity, that means 0.3 is getting multiplied by the 0.3 again and again and again. End of the day, 0.3 into 0.3 would become 0.09. 0.9 into 0.3 would become 0.0027. What is happening? The values keep decaying. For range 0 to 1, it will reach 0 and it will become infinity. Yes. All will die because of coronavirus. Super ultimate. I do not understand from where you are super ultimate. My dear friends, if you really are super ultimate, at least think positive. And if you are not able to think positive, at least keep quiet. But still you are putting the comment over here. Anyways, welcome to the world of mathematics, and definitely you are going to learn few of the lucrative concepts of the mathematics, and probably you will get a certain amount of positive feeling, and you would spread certain amount of positive feeling. Okay. So till this point, probably each and individual things must be very clear to all of us. Agreed now? So that is what I am saying. Many of the students do not have that thought process. If I would ask one another concept, like what would be the worth of 0.2 if it is being raised to the infinity? It would become 0. Agreed now? So in the same sequence, the same fundamental has to be followed over here. It becomes 0. E to the power of 0 would become this, and 0 minus of 1 would be minus of 1. Minus of 1 would get multiplied with minus, would become plus of 1. So till this point, probably each and individual things must be clear to all of us. And this has been the point where many of the students used to have the doubt over here. And I would request to all of the students, try to increase the strength in engineering mathematics so that we can go with the engineering mathematics with the elaborative manner. Because I have also been concerned about the number of watches and all. So I would request to all of you, try to spread this content to max of your students or max of your friends. So what is being happening over here? Here I have used the analytic method. I have simply used the concept of analytic method over here. Analytic method. But now, at least in this video, we had to discuss the problem around gamma integration. So obviously now the turn has been for the gamma. How it would be dealt? Once you'll compare where the problem have gone, my dear friends. Yeah, once you'll compare, everything is in line, no, except x to the power of n minus 1. Here nothing is given, so you can presume it has been x to the power of 0. N minus of 1 is going to get compared with 0. The value of n is going to be 1. So end of the day, the result had been gamma of 1. And gamma of 1 can be written at any moment of time as gamma of 1 plus of 0, which can be written as 0 factorial, and which has been precisely 1. Okay, sir. Okay, it's working very fine. It's working very fine. Is that part clear? Till this point, I don't find any of the students would have any sort of doubt. In the same sequence, let me move forward with few more number of critical questions. Let's take, this would be the place of the first question, this would be the place of second, here would go the third question. Similarly, in the same sequence, I would be having fourth, fifth as well as sixth question. And probably with the help of sixth standard problem, I would be able to explain the breaking crux behind the gamma integration. So let me take the next question, and the question had been e to the power of minus x, and now the x has been raised to the power of 7, and here it goes dx, and the integration has been taken place from, let's take from 0 to infinity, from 0 to infinity. Tell me what would be the word for this given problem. What would be the word for this given problem? What would be the word for this given problem? So just have one thing in your mind, and that has been the standard form of the gamma integration. Even the limit had been the same form. The limit was moving from 0 to infinity. Everything is fine, sir. Here also we had the e to the power of minus x. There also we had the e to the power of minus x. But there we had the x to the power n minus of 1. But instead n minus 1, here we had 7. So n minus of 1 would get compared with 7. The value of n is gonna be 8. What does that mean of it? That means the result is simply gonna be gamma of 8, and gamma of 8 would be simply equals to of 7 factorial. So as far as this problem is being concerned, the answer would be precisely equals to of 7 factorial. 7 factorial. Let me take another problem, and this problem is going to give you a bit amount of pain. Let's see how this problem has been framed. Rather taking the integration from 0 to infinity, I have taken the integration from minus infinity to plus infinity. Rather taking the function as e to the power of minus x, I have taken this function as e to the power of minus of mod of x. And rather taking the function as x to the power of 7, I have taken the function as x to the power 8 dx. May I know what would be the worth of it? What would be the worth of it? I would like to have the answer from each one of you. Let me change this problem to x to the power of 8 to x to the power of 2. X to the power of 2. That's fine, no Nisant. Probably you could have taken the factorial of 7, which has been supposed to come 5040. 5040. That's fine, no? Tell me what would be the answer for this given problem. And you can expect this sort of problem at any moment of time in your GATE examination, because monotonically they have been framing the question around this concept, where each and everything is clearly visible. The person who knows the concept of gamma integration, he is going to get the answer within probably 30 to 35 seconds. But this sort of problem may trap you. Thanks, dear mini electrician, sir, your lecture are awesome. Thanks, dear. Anyways, focus over this problem. Now, focus over this problem first and try to grab the answer with the help of gamma integration. Gamma integration. See what is happening over here. Many of these students would fear after watching the form of its integral, and similarly form of e to the power of minus of mod of x. E to the power of minus of mod of x. Yes, I know. This is for sure sort. Many of these students would just put their sword towards downside and they would say, sir, no sir, we are not the person who is going to get its perfect answer. But yes, you can. See, try to understand how the problem has been framed. Once you will be focusing over the part of this function had been the even function. this function had been the even function. How did I know about it? Either graphically you can visualize towards left hand side, towards right hand side, the curve would be made in such, it would have the replica taking the reference of y-axis. That's the first thing. Secondly, just focus over the function itself, how the function has been dealt. It has been written as e to the power of minus of mod of x and has the multiplication with the x square. But once you feed x as minus x, what happens? See, end of the day, you had to feed that minus x in place of x. Here also you had to feed minus of x in place of, in case of x. End of the day, the minus of mod of x leads minus of mod of x only, and here also it had been x square. It had been x square. Agreed? So what does it mean of it? That means the f of x has been held in same as f of minus of x. What does that mean of it? That means it had been an even function. That it had been an even function. If it had been an even function, obviously what change we can experience over here? I can write the integration from 0 to infinity, and as it has been even function from minus a to 0 and 0 to a, it is going to concede the same area. So we can take 2, here it goes e to the power of minus of mod of x, and here it goes x square of dx, x square of dx. And one thing is quite sure, for positive values of x, mod of x is simply defined as x itself. The student who have been following my lecture from very beginning definitely is going to appreciate this concept, because at many various cases I have taken these cases where the integration were dealt with the modular function, So here it goes 2 integration from 0 to infinity. Here comes e to the power of minus x, x square and dx. Now nobody can deny, sir, we won't be able to get its answer. Everybody would be able to get its answer. May I know what it will be? The 2 had been as it is. Obviously, whatever the result do come after the gamma integration has to get multiplied with 2, and x to the power of n minus 1 has to get compared with the x to the power of 2. So the n minus of 1 would be equals to of 2. So put together, the result what we are supposed to get out of it is being gamma of 3. Agreed? Is being gamma of 3. Till this point, probably each and individual things must be clear to all of us. Yes, in the same sequence, what we would do, the gamma of 3 could have been written as gamma of 2 plus of 1, and as per the basic property followed by the gamma function, gamma of n plus 1 is being written as n factorial itself. So 2 gets multiplied with 2 factorial. The result which is going to get in your hand is going to be 4. Obviously, this would be the best most answer which we are supposed to get after doing this calculation. So this sort of problem can come at any moment of time. What I am saying, although the student are well aware with the gamma integration, but the teacher would be almost smart enough that they can frame the problem in such that the student would be in trouble. It's not a difficult problem at all. Who says it would be a difficult problem? But definitely the student who have been following my lecture, they can expect this sort of problem can be expected at any moment of time in different papers of GATE, different papers of GATE. Obviously, the answer is gonna be 4. Yes, in the same sequence, let me move forward and let me take the next question. Again, I would be designing this question by myself. See, the nature of the problem has been changed a bit. The integration is still from 0 to infinity, still e to the power of minus x is being involved within your function, but rather having the power as a whole number, now the number has been changed to a rational number. Let's take it had been 5 divided by of 2 dx. Still, the person who would look this problem first time, he is going to say, sir, everything is in line. Integration had been from 0 to infinity. Earlier also it had been in range of from 0 to infinity. Earlier also we had the e to the power of minus x. Now also we had in the form of e to the power of minus x. Earlier we had n minus of 1. Here we had 5 divided by 2. That is the only difference we are going to observe over here. That means instead the n minus 1 we had 5 divided by 2. Sir, I have a doubt if I split the integration into 2 parts. No, Nishant, why I am not splitting this problem? because again the same problem would have take place. What? The e to the power of minus x would have become e to the power of plus of x, and once you deal this problem with the help of gamma integration, the problem becomes a little bit hodgepodge, because the standard form of the gamma integration had the function e to the power of minus x as well as x to the power of n minus 1. That is why, rather breaking this problem into the integration by part, what I did, I know this area and this area would be same, so why don't we focus over this area which can be easily extracted with the help of gamma function and just multiply with 2. Agreed? So till this point probably each and individual things must be clear to all of us. May I know what would be the worth of it? So n minus of 1 has been equals to a 5 by 2. 1 would be shifted towards the right hand side, so the result what we are supposed to get in our hand is going to be 7 by 2. See, when we deal with the fractional part, no, one of the problem we used to have. What is that, sir? Factorial can be defined only and only for the whole number. Like for 0 it's going to be 1, for 1 it's going to be 1, for 2 it's going to be 2, for 3 it's going to be 6, for 4 it's going to be 4 into 3 into 2, that's 12 put together, but you can't get the factorial like 1.5, factorial for 2 by 3, 3 by 2, you can't get that. So here one problem we have been facing, what it is? I know the two important formulas which are performed or which are followed by the gamma integration. Among them, the first kind of the formula was relating this problem to the factorial. To the factorials, I should not be doing though. So what I am going to do over here, 7 by 2 could have been written as 1 plus of 5 by 2. There is no doubt as such. And here it has been in the form of gamma of 1 plus of n, that could have been written as n gamma n. N gamma n. Yes. May I know what had been the n over here? It had been 5 divided by f2. So simply it's going to be 5 by 2 gamma of 5 by 2. Gamma of 5 by 2. Again 5 by 2 would come as it is. Gamma of 5 by 2 could have been written as 1 plus of gamma of 3 by 2. So what's going to be the next step to be followed? The 5 by 3 would remain as it is. Here again it becomes in a form of gamma of n plus of 1 that used to be n gamma n. So here it would be 3 by 2 and here it would be gamma of 3 by 2. Gamma of 3 by 2. In the same sequence, if you move forward, it would be 5 divided by f2. Keep in mind, always it would be 2 only. 5 divided by f2 getting multiplied with 3 divided by f2. Gamma of 3 by 2 could have been written as 1 plus of gamma half. So here it's going to be half times of gamma of half. Gamma of half. And when I was discussing about its important property, it was clearly indicated gamma of half stands for root over of pi. Root over of pi. Everything is in line. 5, 3, 1, they can multiply together at numerator side. That would be leading 15. 15. Yes, and similarly towards denominator side, we had 2 into 2 into 2. That has been 2 into 2, that's a 4. 4 into 2, that's a 8. That's a 8. 15 into 8, and the root over of, gamma of half has been written as root over of pi. Root over of pi. Yes, so this would be the answer. This would be the answer. Yeah, that's well and good. That's well and good. Let me take the next question in the same sequence, and this question do come repeatedly when we deal with the normal or the bell distribution. So you can put it the star mark for this problem. This has been a very, very repetitive nature. So we are focusing over the integration of e to the power of minus x square dx, where the limit starts from 0, goes till infinity. Goes till infinity. You can put it the star mark for this kind of problem because it had been a very repetitive in nature. This problem has been very repetitive in nature. It has been a very important question. So may I know which methodology I should be using to solve this problem out? My dear friends, exactly you yourself may not be able to understand, can we use the gamma integration or not? We can use the gamma integration provided it must be in a form of e to the power of minus x. So what should I be doing over here? I should be keeping x square is equals to t. So once we feed x square is equals to t, at least we have got a relief in terms of power of exponent. The power of exponent has been e to the power of minus t, which used to be the genuine exponent. Obviously, normal, Gaussian, Bell, any sort of distribution we can say. Yes. So here what's happening over here? We start with its solution. This has been the point of concern. So what we are going to do over here, x square is being fed as t. And as the x has been fed as t, the limits are also going to change, because in future the integration would be taken in t domain rather taking in x domain. So earlier we had x and as well as t. The x had been 0. May I know what would be the t in that case? The mapping between x as t had been x square is equals to of t. So you would feed x is equals to of 0. The 0 would be raised to of power of 2, and you would be having the value of t which has been 0. And similarly, next you would be feeding x is equals to infinity. So it becomes x square, that has been infinity square again makes t as infinity. So I have seen many other times the student used to do the transformation, but they forget to do the transformation with their limits also. The limit would also get transformed. The limit would also get transformed. Obviously, method of substitution is also called. So here, rather taking the limit in terms of x, I would be focusing in terms of t more. So the t also goes from 0 to infinity. Here it became e to the power of minus t. But now the next stell mark comes in our hand is nothing but now the integration has to be taken place respect to t. But here still the dx prevails. So what we are going to do over here, we are going to take the differentiation both on the side such that the dx would become dependent on dt. So let's take the differentiation. This has been the equation number 1. Taking the differentiation in equation number 1. Taking the differentiation in equation number 1. So it would become 2 of x dx is equals to of dt. Once we'll take its differentiation now, it would become 2 of x, and this partial value would be d of x, and its partial value would be dt. So here dx would be fed as dt into what? X inverse divided by of 2. dt x inverse divided by of 2. Yes, no? So in next step what we are going to do over here? Now the x would be again replaced back in the form of t. So x square was equals to of 2. So obviously x is gonna be 2 to the power of half. So here the integration would be in the form of t starts from 0, goes till infinity, e to the power of minus t would be remaining as it is. 1 upon 2 can be brought it out, and here dt would remain as it is, and x inverse, anyways first focus over the x has been root over of t, and hence x to the power of minus 2 would be equals to of t to the power of minus half. In the same sequence, let me calculate the rest of the calculation. So the answer have started coming over the live chat. That's a great thing. So again the half would remain as it is. I cannot touch the half, it has been a constant quantity which is getting multiplied. And now if you will compare with the standard form of the gamma integration, the limits are being same. E to the power of minus t is also in line with the requirement, and here rather having n minus of 1 you had minus of half. So what's going to happen over here? It is just you have to focus over the value of n. N minus of 1 had been equals to of minus of half. So the value of n is gonna be minus of half plus of 1, that would be half. So here it becomes gamma of half, and we know the value of gamma of half used to be root over of pi, and which would be divided with 2, obviously. So the answers which we are getting over the live chat, they are really appreciable. The answer which we are getting after this calculation had been root over of pi divided by 2. What I am going to do, just for having the different kinds of the variant over this problem, we are going to play with its integration. See, the next kind of the integration, next kind of the problem which we can frame by this is being like integration has been taken place from minus infinity to 0. It had been e to the power of minus x square dx. This has been the first variant of the problem. A variant like corona is changing its variant, no? So my problem is also changing its variant. Let's take the second kind of the problem had been the integration is from minus infinity to 0 e to the power of minus x square dx. That had been the second variant. Similarly, you can take plus infinity to 0 you can do now. And now you can take the integration is from 0 to minus infinity e to the power of minus x square dx. This would be your first question which you had to reply over the live chat. This would be your second question which you had to reply over the live chat, and this would be your third question. The answer has to be put on over the live chat. So whenever you put the answer now, try to write the number of question also. First question would have this answer, second question would have this answer, third question would have this answer. So at least I'll have the interpretation. The answer have come for which particular problem? The answer have come for the which particular problem? Tell me what would be the best most answer for this given problem. Try to understand how the curve e to the power of minus x square looks like. So the student who have been following me since beginning, they must be able to appreciate it very well. It would be a belt shape. Like this. Like this. May you know what would be its maximum value and when it would occur? Obviously, its maximum value would take place at x is equal to 0, which would become e to the power of 0, and e to the power of 0 is nothing but 1. And as you move away from x is equal to 0, it would be continuously decaying, obviously in symmetric fashion. It would try to land up at 0, it would try to land up at 0. So one thing I had been quite sure, if you move from lower limit to upper limit, no, the area under the curve would be treated as positive because all of the lobe area has been manufactured above the x-axis. And as you move from right hand to left hand, or I can say if your lower limit is being kept towards higher side in compare with the upper limit, definitely this area would be accounted as negative. Would be accounted as negative. No, it won't be same. It won't be same. So what is happening with the first question? You have already calculated this area. The integration is already been done with the e to the power of minus x, where the limit had been started from x is equals to 0 to infinity. So as far as the magnitude of the area is being concerned, no, the magnitude of the area had been, where it had been calculated, yeah, here it had been calculated, which has been root over of pi divided by f2. I am talking about its magnitude, no, I am talking about its magnitude. Let me focus over the first question. My dear friends, as it has been symmetrical taking the reference of x-axis, y-axis, so obviously this area and this area is going to be same in terms of its magnitude. Now as you have been moving from minus infinity to 0, so still you have been moving from left to right. That means all of the area which would be accounted by this integration would be treated as positive. So one thing I had been quite sure, the answer is going to be positive. And may I know how much exact worth of area has been conceded? The same area. Towards right hand side we had the area as root over pi by 2. Towards left hand side also we had the area as root over of pi by 2. So as far as the perfect most answer for the first question is being concerned, we are going to get the answer as root over of pi divided by 2. Agreed? So till this point probably each and individual things must be clear to all of us. Now what is happening over here? Now still we are going to concede the same area. Either you take the complete area in between minus infinity to 0 or 0 to infinity. But the limit also makes sense. Now the upper limit has been at 0, the lower limit had been at infinity. That means you are starting from infinity and going till 0. You are starting from infinity and going till 0. So may I know the area which you would be conceding, would it be treated as positive or would it be treated as negative? It would be treated as negative. And how much area you have conceded? Obviously again the same area, which has been root over of pi divided by f2. Why I have taken the variants of this problem? Because this has been a very important problem as far as the normal distribution is being concerned. So you can expect this sort of problem can be framed deliberately to make you in trouble, What about the last one? You start from the lower limit, which has been 0, and you go towards left hand side in search of upper limit. It would be minus. It would be this. Sir, how you take area positive or negative? Manju, you are not following my video in that case. Already it has been told. If you move from left hand side to right hand side, or I say if the upper limit is being kept towards right hand side and if the lower limit is being kept towards left hand side, so all of the area which has been manufactured towards the upside of the x-axis used to be treated as positive. And if it is meant towards downside, it would be treated as negative. And similarly, once you come into the reverse manner, everything gets multiplied with the minus sign. Sir, मेरे सारे सेम आ रहे हैं एज लिमिट एक्स स्क्वायर की वजह से टी के हमेशा 0 से इन्फिनिटी. No. अरे कौन पढ़ रहा है? निशांत क्या कर रहे हो यार? भाई मैं बोल रहा हूँ थोड़ा सा देख लो भाई, मैथ सही है, इट्स अ मैथ्स माय डियर. If you say, I would give around 20 number of examples just to show you that where you are doing mistake. This is not the case. This is not the case, my dear friend. What I am saying, if the area has been made in first or second quadrant, and if your lower limit is being kept towards left hand side, and if your upper limit is being kept towards right hand side, the area would be treated as positive. If the case is reversed, what does that mean of it? That means if your lower limit is being kept towards right hand side, and if your upper limit is being kept towards left hand side, in that case the same area would be regarded as negative. The same area would be regarded as negative. Agreed? If you are not able to understand, let me take a problem. Okay. Tell me, how much answer we are getting after doing its definite integral? Nishant, I would expect this answer from you. What would be the answer once we'll take its analytic form of the integration? Obviously, you'll do its analytic integration, or if you'll take its antiderivative, the antiderivative of the x square would have the result as x to the power of 3, and at denominator you will be having 3. And its limit would go from 1 to 0, and once you'll feed its limit, you'll get to know the result had been minus of 1 by 3. Focus over the curve x square. How the curve x square looks like? It has been upper facing parabola. And you have been taking the area under the curve in between x is equals to 1 and x is equals to 0. It has been x is equals to 1, and the y-axis is used to be x is equals to 0. Which area you have been considering? Obviously you have been considering this area. Then why the answer have come in negative manner? That's what I am saying. No, why the answer have come into the negative manner is still the area has been framed towards upside. No, because your lower limit is being kept towards right hand side, whereas your upper limit is being kept towards left hand side. So what I say, if you move from your lower limit to upper limit, if the movement has been left hand sided, no, or left sided, so this all positive area would be regarded as negative. And if the movement had been towards right hand side, this all area would be regarded as positive, and all of the area which has been made towards downside would be regarded as negative. Agreed? No? Wanted to ask from each one of you, probably 2 or 3 students who have been following me since very beginning had the problem, and that's the worst thing which you guys are doing. The Nissan says, sir, why the value is going to get negative? Because all of the times the area has been considered towards the first as well as second quadrant. So probably the example which I have just taken, Nissan, could have smashed your all sort of doubts. So wanted to ask from 2 of my students, the Nishant Sharma as well as Manju Sudhakaran, could you really appreciate the concept or not? So forget about the area when it would be made towards upside, it would be treated as positive, and if it would be made towards downside, it would be treated as negative. That solely depends. If the movement had been taken place from negative to or lower side to higher side, it would be regarded as positive, otherwise negative. Tell me if this part is clear now. So Nissan, forget about the concept which we had in our brain, that the area, if it is made towards upside, always the area would be counted as positive, provided you have been moving your limit from left hand side to right hand side. If this is the case, now what I am saying, if you don't accept this concept, so in that case, according to you guys, the integration of f of d of x from a to b must be very same as integration of f of x from b to a. Nishant, what I am saying? Pranali, what I am saying? So according to you guys, the answer has to be very same now. But no, once we change in the order of their integration, order of their limits, what happens? The minus sign do come into the picture. Why it comes into the picture? Because you have changed the movement of the limit. Tell me, is it clear? So I would wait for the next 30 seconds just to get the proper response from each one of you. Tell me. So probably it's clear to all of us. It's clear to all of us. Agreed? Let me come back. So tell me what should be the answers for the each and individual questions. Obviously, this would be the answer. Here it should be regarded as negative because you have been moving from right to left. The area has been meant towards upside, so obviously it would be regarded as negative. Here we have been moving from 0 to minus infinity. The lower limit has been kept towards right hand side, whereas the upper limit had been kept towards left hand side. You have been moving towards left hand side. Obviously, it would be regarded as negative again. It would be regarded as negative again. I know these are the points where many of the students have lot of difficulties. So you should have this thing in your mind. In the same sequence, let me go ahead with the next question. The same kind of the question I am going to derive. We had the same function which had been e to the power of minus x square. Rather taking its integration from 0 to infinity, I have started from minus infinity and going till plus infinity. Tell me, what do you expect its result? What do you expect its result? See what is happening over here. Many of the students would have one doubt, sir. Sir, so far in gamma integration we used to take the lower limit as 0, but here it has started from minus infinity. It can be no, my dear friends. If you know the important properties which are followed by the definite integral, you could have written this problem as 2 integration which would start from the middlemost point of its range, which starts from 0 to infinity, e to the power of minus x square dx. Why? Because e to the power of minus x square had been a even function, and if it been an even function, it would concede the same area towards left hand side as well as right hand side with the same span, obviously. So the answer is gonna be root over of pi. So almost all of the students who have given the answer, they are perfectly correct. In the same sequence, let me change the structure of this problem a bit. How the problem has been framed? The integration of e to the power of minus x square dx has been taken place from infinity to minus infinity. Nishant, I would like to ask from you. Manju, I would like to ask from you, what should be the best most answer for this case? Here it was the positive, but here it would be negative, and the worth would be root over of pi. Agreed? No? Tell me, till this point I don't find any of the students would have any sort of doubt now. In the same sequence, what we are going to do over here, we are going to recall the standard form of the Gaussian distribution. What used to be that? That used to be 1 upon of sigma root over of 2 pi. Here goes the exponent of x minus of mu has been raised to the power of 2, and towards the denominator side we used to have 2 times of sigma square. Where x can vary from minus infinity to plus infinity. Where mu and sigma are the constant. Where the sigma is called standard deviation, mu is called mean. That we would see once we would be discussing about the normal distribution into the great detail. But still I would like to ask from each one of you, if it would be qualified as a PDF, let's take this function has been taken as f of x. In that case, the integration of this function f of x from minus infinity to infinity has to be 1. So this would be your homework. You had to solve this problem by yourself and get the answer as 1 irrespective of the value of mu as well as sigma. But I am saying irrespective of the value of mu as well as sigma, the area under the curve which would be considered by this function f of x has to be 1. That can be easily calculated with the help of gamma integration. Manju is saying, sir, please take one graph towards downside. Okay, we'll take, no issue. We'll take that. See what you would do. This curve would be symmetrical to mu. If you want, I can draw over here. let's take it has been my x-axis, and let's take it had been my x is equals to mu axis. The mu could be the different values. X is equals to mu could be mu is equals to 0, mu is equals to 1, mu is equals to 2, so on and so forth. So on and so forth. Let's take here it had been, this one had been x is equals to 0, x is equals to 1, x is equals to minus 1, x is equals to minus 2. So if I take x is equals to of 0, or if I feed mu is equals to of 0, this curve would become exponent of minus sign of x square divided by 2 sigma square. How the curve would look like? So obviously you should have a little bit idea about it. I am not going into the great detail. So the curve would be like this. The curve would be like this. When the value of mu is equals to of 0. Mu is equals to 0. Yes. और आई एम सेइंग सर एक्सपोनेंशियल के आगे निगेटिव साइन है, यस है ना, बिल्कुल है ना यार, उसके बिना तो डिक्रीज ही नहीं करेगा. इट वोंट बी डिक्रीजिंग, व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, इट वुड बी कीप इंक्रीजिंग. What I am saying, as the value of x would increase, this factor would increase, and as it has been raised to the power of exponent, definitely this factor would start getting increased. But no, it is keep decreasing. It is keep decreasing. And now if we fed the value of mu as 1, the new curve which we are going to get in our hand would be like this, again at like this. Agreed? And now if you take the integration from minus infinity to plus infinity, either you take the reference of this curve, either you take the reference of this curve, both of them had its maximum magnitude as 1 upon sigma root over of 2 pi. Anywhere you go, anywhere you go. Anywhere you go. Yes, they have been considering the same area. They have been considering the same area. Whether you take mu is equals to 1, whether you take mu is equals to 2, whether you take mu is equals to 0. So just to simplify this problem, what I would do, rather taking this mu as an unknown quantity, I would be taking the mu as 0, because in all of the cases of mu, the complete curve is going to get shifted either towards left hand side or towards right hand side. The area is not going to change, as you can see over this structure. As you can see over this structure, so the curve had been taken as 1 divided by of, it would be 1 divided by of sigma root over of 2 pi. It would be exponent has been raised to the minus of x square and divided by of 2 sigma square. This has been my function, which has been had its values from minus infinity to infinity. So we had to prove its result would be 1. Then only this PDF would be a qualified PDF within the range of x is equals to minus infinity to infinity. It would be a qualified PDF. Tell me, will you be able to do this? Who said probability distribution function has the maximum probability as 1? No, Bhupesh. No, Bhupendra. First of all, the concept of the probability itself would be lost. What I am saying, the concept of the probability itself would be lost if the probability worth had become 1. Secondly, this magnitude of this function is not the worth of the probability. Anyways, we had to learn about the complete concept of the probability once we go into that chapter. How will you find it? Again, I would take x square divided by 2 sigma to the power of 2 as a form of t, and then we would try to go ahead. So what I did over here, I have taken x divided by of sigma root over of 2 to the power of 2 as t. Agreed? Because in future, if I replace this with the t, definitely this problem would get converted in form of gamma integration. What I am going to do over here, again I would be feeding, now what we can do, again it had been a even function, so rather taking its limit from minus infinity to infinity, I can take its limit from 0 to infinity, the 2 would get multiplied and it would be having the constant component towards denominator side, that had been 1 divided by sigma root over of 2 pi. Here goes e to the power of, this complete component has been fed as t, so it would become e to the power of minus t, and still it would be having dx over here. dx over here. So now it's right time to change the dx in a form of dt. How will we do so? How will we do so? See, once you'll take its square, 1 upon sigma square, root over of 2 is getting multiplied with root over 2, again it would become 2 over here, and it becomes x square. Once you'll take the differentiation of x square, it would be 2 of x, it would become 2 of x, dx is equals to of dt, is equals to of dt. So from here what is happening, 2 and 2 is going to go out, and the dx is being left out as, dx is being left out as, try to get its value, try to get its value. So it had been left out as x to the power of minus 1, once it go towards right hand side, sigma square would be as it is, and here it would be dt, here it would be dt. So in future the 2 would remain as it is. The integration can be performed from 0 to infinity, 1 upon sigma root over of 2 pi we had as it is, dx e to the power of minus t, dx would be fed as x minus of 1 sigma square of dt, sigma square of dt, sigma square of dt. Still the x has to be framed in a form of t. So how the x can be framed as in a form of t? My dear friends, you yourself would be able to understand. X had been equals to of in form of t I am saying. So root over can go towards right hand side, it would become root over of t, and here it becomes sigma root over of 2 into of root over of t, root over of t, and you will take its inverse now, you will take its inverse now. So the result what we are supposed to get over here has been 2 has been as it is. The integration would be from 0 to infinity, 0 to infinity. Still we had 1 upon sigma root over of 2 pi as it is, here e to the power of minus t would remain as it is, even sigma square can be brought towards this side, and now the factor which had instead of x inverse is gonna be sigma inverse, sigma would go towards downside. Similarly root over of 2, that would also go towards downside, and this would be left out with the t to the power of minus 1 by 2, and here goes dt, here goes dt, here goes dt. So end of the day, what result we are getting, you yourself would be able to understand. Sigma into sigma is going to be sigma square and sigma square is going to go out. Here we had root 2, here we had root 2, root 2 into root 2 is going to be 2, and now it's going to go out. So the factor which would be left out as a constant is going to be 1 upon of root over of pi, 1 upon of root over of pi, and you have been left out with the integration from 0 to infinity e to the power of minus t, t to the power of minus half dt, dt. You yourself would be able to get the answer. The answer is simply going to be 1. The answer is simply going to be 1. The answer is simply going to be 1. So what we can say, this would be a valid PDF for any kind of the value of sigma as well as any kind of value of mu, any kind of the value of sigma or slight mistake getting half. Okay, we'll check now. अगर हाफ आ रहा है तो ये डेफिनेटली कहीं मिस्टेक हुआ होगा, आप चेक कर सकते हैं, उसमें कोई इशू नहीं है, बट एवरीथिंग इज वेरी फाइन, एवरीथिंग इज वेरी फाइन. हाफ आ रहा है तो एक काम करो, कहीं 2 और भी आ रहा होगा, सो हाफ एंड 2 वुड गेट कैंसल टू ईच अदर एंड द वर्थ व्हाट वी वुड गेट, it's gonna be simply 1. It has to 1, there is no doubt in it, there is no doubt in it. Slight mistake getting half. Okay, we can check. Somewhere the mistake would have been taken place towards the numerator. We could have forget to take the value of 2. We could have taken to take, we could have forget to take the value as 2. So now such a beautiful function it has been, but still there are so many things to be learned regarding this function. So what we are going to do, in tomorrow's class, I would be present with few number of numericals, probably the numericals which have appeared in GATE examinations based on the concept of the gamma integration. Probably 5 to 6 number of numericals we are going to take on it. Once we are done with that, we would move into the next kind of the numerical, and there we would be discussing about the beta integration. Beta integration. Yes, no? So this is all about the today's video. Any sort of chit chat if you guys wanted to do with me, you can do it over here for the next 1 minute, and then we would push it off and we will break our video here itself. We can have a little bit chit chat. The student who have been following me, they can get the type of feedback. If you guys are finding any difficulty at certain amount of topic, you can put it over here. You can put it over here. Okay then. Thanks dear Nishant. Okay then, I would expect that you people would be at least communicating the quality of video which we are providing over our Gate Academy Global to your friends also. Because if the number of concurrent viewers would be increasing, no, definitely it would be more encouraging to us. Okay, last day problem. Bhupesh Sharma is saying, वाला कोर्स कैसे ज्वाइन करें? भूपेंद्र is also there. Is already there. It's already there. Once you go in our app, no, in app at very top you will be getting that course EMFT electronics with a worth of 1,999. That's there. You just install the application. You would be getting that product at very beginning. Sir, I am facing the difficulty in communication. Anyways, we would put our best effort even to improve your communication also. Okay then, this is all about the today's video. We would meet with the next video precisely at 9 PM with the same passion, with the same enthusiasm. Till then, bye bye, take care, stay safe. Good night.